Hi there. Today we are going to be building a swim raft. The best way to do it is obviously find a flat ground closest as possible to the lake. By the time you're done with it, it's probably going to be about 400 to 500 pounds. We are using 2x8s treated lumber, 8 feet long. So this raft is going to be 8 feet by 8 feet using 6 blue food grade barrels. Tools you will need: a screw gun, deck screws, galvanized, I like the 3-inch, and a chop saw. After you have placed your barrels in the correct location, measure out 21.5 inches. That's the width of this barrel. That's going to lock the barrel into place so it doesn't float basically into your deck boards. You want most of the barrel on the bottom side of the raft. So 21.5 inches, and cut a board to fit inside your 8x8 square, which will be roughly 95 inches. The next step is doing the other side, securing the barrels in. Again, the board in between this one right here is about 95 inches. You'll have to measure that one out. And secure these barrels in. The distance between here and here is 21.5 inches. The next step is the centerpiece. Make sure it's even in the middle and secure those barrels in. This project can also be done using 4 barrels. I chose to do 6 barrels just because I think it'll be more sturdy. Okay, now that we have all of our barrels in place, the next step is to use blocking to secure the barrels in place this way across the raft. So again, we're going to use a 21.5 inch blocking piece of board, same 2x8 piece right in here. So you're going to do it for each barrel. So a total of 6 pieces. Just a side note, you should always measure before you cut the blocking pieces. For example, here I have a few boards, these 2 center boards, that are bowed out a little bit. They're warped. So this is measuring almost 22.5. So make sure you measure before you cut. Okay, now I have all my blocking in. The general rule of thumb with the blocking is you just need to cinch up the barrels. Just make sure they're a snug fit and you should be good. It's right around 35 inches, but your best bet is just to snug it up to the barrel. For extra support in your square, you can add support brackets. These are obviously galvanized, just helps with a little extra support. Okay, another thing you can do to add support is add joist hangers on every end beam. I like to over-engineer things usually, so this is extremely sturdy now. Probably not necessary for a swim raft, but what the heck. So yes, you can add these joist hangers on every end beam. Okay, next what we're going to do is drill holes for the rope to secure the bottom of this barrel. Now again, I want this to be my top surface where the decking material is going to go. So eventually I'm going to put these barrels on the other side of this top. But it all works the same way. So for the time being, I can use the barrels on top and then just flip them over at the last minute when I'm ready to put the decking material on top. But what I'm doing here is drilling in with a 7/8 drill bit. I'm only going about halfway in because this is where I want my knot to go. I could go all the way through if you're just using the green wood, if you're just using this treated wood, but I'm going to put a fascia board over this at some point, and actually have composite material over this. So I didn't want my screw or my rope to come out this way. So I'm going to hide a little knot in this screw or in this hole, and then the rope will come out through the bottom, string up through the top and over, and do the same thing on the other side. So yeah. So I put one here and right here at the end, towards the end of the barrel. Okay, this is what your rope should look like when you are done with drilling the holes and cutting the line. Basically, what you do is tie a knot at the end of the rope. This is the edge of the raft. This is where I sunk in this knot so I can fit the fascia board over it. Run it around the barrel, and then when I'm ready to put it in the water, I'll cinch it up. I'll cinch it up here and tie a knot. And same for the other side. You can get away with probably 50 feet of rope for 4 barrels, and at least 75 feet for 6 barrels. And again, you want nylon rope so it won't corrode in the water. Okay, now that I have anchored both of my anchor points right here, and again over on the other side, you can see it hanging right there. I can now start to pick my barrels up, cinch the ropes up, and get ready for the deck boarding. Again, with these anchor supports, you can use any U-bolt. You can get it. I got these at Menards. Just make sure they're galvanized. Okay. Okay, as I'm putting on my deck boards, I realized that I need some blocking material in the corners. I am picture framing this in and then putting deck boards in the middle. But in order to do so, I needed to do something for the corners. So when you apply pressure here, it won't collapse in. So all I did was measure the distance from here to here. It's going to be right around 35 inches again. Always measure twice. And then cut a piece of 2x4 blocking, and just use the same deck screws as before, and you should be good to go. Now that I have some of my deck boards down, I'm going to need to add blocking here and on the other side over there. Again, we added blocking in the corners. Also, I'm going to need to do it in the middle for these boards to sit on. Okay, I have all the deck boards on. Again, I'm picture framing in. I'm doing a 1/4 inch spacer all the way around and in between the boards. One thing you got to remember is add blocking for your swim ladder. This is one thing I forgot to add in, so I'd take the boards off. So just add blocking in there for your ladder if you choose to have one. Thanks. Okay, it's time to launch. We put the fascia board on around. This is a AZEC 1x12. Remember, for the spacers, you want to use about a quarter of an inch in the space. Mount your ladder and launch away. Have fun.